All right, we should be back in business with sound. I tried doing this a little while ago, and had no sound because I don't know. My computer just decided it didn't have a microphone attached, so I had to tell it, "Hey, you have a microphone. It's right there. Can you please use it?" So thank you, Katie, for pointing out that I had no sound because I didn't even notice, which is kind of embarrassing. I was talking for 10 minutes to myself. It's okay though. It's okay. Um, so nice thing about my live stream today, hopefully this will help. I got a new phone. Oh, let me mute myself here. I got a new phone, and so my old phone is this one here that's pointing down. And then my new phone, I have, my video pulled up on it. So hopefully that will cut down on the lag time on replying to comments, because if you've watched any of my previous videos, there's like a humongous lag, because I use a streaming program to be able to do the dual camera angles. So there's the lag of it going from my computer to YouTube, and then from YouTube back to the chat, and so it was a crazy long lag. So hopefully this will help it. And hi, Katie. Hopefully this will help cut down on it a little bit. So tonight I'm going to be prepping for. I've got markets the next 2 weekends. This coming Saturday and Sunday I have the Gem City Makers Market at the Dayton Mall, which is one that I do pretty much every other weekend. I used to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I now have a full-time job, so I do work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, which is like bonkers to me, having worked in the hospitality industry for as long as I have. And I'm like, what's this Monday to Friday 8 to 5 stuff? I don't know. And like, I get off on time, and people don't call me in the evenings or on weekend. It's weird. I'm still in the hospitality industry, working in revenue management. And yeah, so I introduced a new product 2 weeks ago, which is book/Kindle sleeves. They're padded sleeves. I don't have one handy. They're all on the other side of the table. But I introduced those 2 weeks ago, sold some immediately, even though it was like a dead weekend at the mall. Like, nobody was there. But even with that, I still sold a couple. So that's really promising to me. So I'm going to I've been making a lot more. I got a new like basket to display them in, so that I can put more of them out. So, yep, good times. So this weekend I will be introducing another new product, which is bookmark pen holders. So that's what these are right here. Again, I don't have one handy to show you, but basically it's going to have elastic, and then it'll have, like, you can slip the pens down in the pocket and it works like a bookmark. I pulled this fabric, or this thread out to match these little kitty cats. These are little kitty cats. You probably can't see that, but they're little kitty cats. I pulled this thread for it, and I have this really bad problem of I almost never have the thread bobbin and spool at the same time. So I went to look in my case of spools, my little box of spools, and this dark gray was not in there, which means hopefully it's in my big box of spools, which I knocked off the dresser behind me. So this is a dresser that we use as like a basically storage back here. I knocked my big box of spools off, and it fell like in a hole and of course dumped all of them out. So hopefully the dark gray is down there. I'm gonna look real quick. I don't want to stand on my head for like an hour looking, but I can at least like poke around and see, hey, is this dark gray here? seeing it. I'm not standing on my head for an hour. Don't know what kind of view you had of my backside while I was looking. Pull my shirt back down. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick a different color, or a different. I'm just gonna do a different bookmark. That'll just solve that completely. Oh hey, I do have this one. So this is one that I made with a shorter length elastic on it. This is the elastic that I use. It's a fold over elastic. I buy it wholesale. This length is supposed to fit a like small notebook, like a pocket notebook almost. But I don't like that it's shorter than the actual bookmark is, and so it bends like that. And it's just like I don't like it. So what I discovered is what's supposed to be the medium size length that's supposed to fit a Happy Planner. It actually fits I have one of the big, like the normal Happy Planners are like, they're like, that big. And I have one of those, but I also have one of the big ones. It's the 8.5 by 11. And the medium size elastic fits it as well. So I think I'm only going to do one size of like the bookmarks because they are kind of a one size fits all. But that gives you an idea of how they look. You can kind of tell, like, you can stick a pen in there. I'm not going to, this one doesn't have a cap on it, so I'm going to be careful, but you can stick your pen in there, and then you can go around the outside of your book, or you can use the elastic in the pages and use it as a bookmark. Really handy for journaling, especially if you use a Happy Planner that doesn't have like a pen loop or anything like that on it. This is quite convenient. So these are ones that I have cut out. Okay, I know I have red thread, so let's do this little Ohio State one. I lose everything every 2 seconds. That bobbin's gonna run out so fast, I'm gonna be so irritated. I need to turn my screen a little. There we go. I keep leaning and cutting my face off. Well, that's not looking promising. That's all the red I have. I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember why I didn't finish the OSU bags. I'm 0 for 2 on the thread today, guys. I'm gonna have to buy more red thread. I'm gonna have to order it. Since I can't just walk down to Joann's anymore. Okay, well. Can always just, like, go with the basic black. I have, like, a whole stack of stuff back here that's cut. Let's see here. Stuff that has fallen down, apparently. Those are book sleeves. Book sleeves, book sleeves. So many book sleeves. Where did all my... That is really precarious, which is why it fell. Did I learn my lesson? No. As you can see. Where... Aha! Found it! It's like I had a whole stack of these things. Where are they? Found them. Okay. Oh, look at this little baby Yoda fabric. It's so cute. Made one of these last night. Yeah, let's do a couple more of these black ones. I suppose I could do the cat one in black. It's dark enough. Yeah, I can make that one in black. Oh no, hit my monitor. Now I hit my phone. I forgot how to sew with things around me, apparently. fuzz on my needle. It's not letting me thread it. There we go. If there's a bunch of fuzz on it, it anti-static clings and like pushes it away. It's kind of funny. Okay, so you can see my sewing machine here. Yay. So step one, this is what's going to be the pocket. I just top stitch it. I've got a really long stitch length. Let's turn that back. I was making bags earlier. Yeah, the black doesn't look terrible on that. I was making bags earlier, and when I do zippers, I tend to run a longer stitch length, so I was set to like way longer than I needed to be. And then it layers on top of here, and then this is optional, but I know that like over time fabric will start sagging if you've got like a big piece of it, a big pocket. So I run a seam up the middle. And that way it makes like 2 pen pockets. And it'll stay snug that way. So it'll hold your pens in. So it's not relying on a pen clip. You can use any pen. My trash can's too far away. As usual, I have lost everything that I need. There it is. A ruler. If you follow me on TikTok, which if you don't, you should. If you follow me on TikTok, I did a little short video yesterday on there. The number of people that I follow, on YouTube or on TikTok or Instagram, and they have like these perfectly curated sewing areas that are like so aesthetically pleasing, and mine is the opposite of aesthetically pleasing. So don't be ashamed of it. I'm not. I thrive in chaos continuously. So this is the elastic. And I sew it on top and bottom. And you could skip this step and just like pin it in place, but I like having it's like extra secure almost. And then I don't have to worry about fighting with it when I'm, sandwiching the layers. And if I remember, I will put in the description the dimensions to cut these. I just use a rotary cutter. I don't use a pattern. You need 2 3x8" pieces and 1 3x10" piece. That's what makes your pocket. And then the elastic is 11 inches. And when you measure elastic, you want to make sure you're not to stretch it. So I'm going to tuck this in here. Sandwich my layers together. You almost don't even need to clip this, honestly. In fact, I think I'm only going to clip it at the top. And you can start wherever you want to leave your opening to turn it. I've found that I like it along in the pocket on the side. I just find that it gives the cleanest edge when you flip it and top stitch it. And I'm sewing at it's like right exactly in between an 1/8 and a 1/4. So I don't even know what that measurement would be, 3/16. But on my presser foot, the outside of it is a 1/4, and the inside in the groove here where the needle can move side to side, that's an 1/8, and I'm literally right in between. don't need a very big gap to turn it. So that's how big my gap is that I left. It's probably what, like a 2-inch gap? I never measure my gaps. I just go, that's good enough. Like there are people who like mark them or pin them and I'm like, close enough. Clip my corners. Should be doing this over the trash can, but I'm doing it where you can see it. Just clip in the corners. Also, anybody who's watching this later, please follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to get to where you have to have like 1,000 followers to be able to go live. I have like 30. So, you know, I try to remember to get on there regularly. It's Valkyrie Stitchworks, the same as this channel, same as all my other socials. I try to remember to get on there regularly, but I would really love to be able to do lives. I also have TikTok Shop. Once I can go live, then, you know, whatever I make on lives, I'll put up on the shop. So that'll be fun. And hopefully be able to do live sales with my earrings. A lot of people have actually asked me to do that, so my earrings are my big sellers at markets. I always say my earrings pay the booth fee, and the rest of my stuff just is bonus. And there are some people who only sell, you know, like bags and things like that at markets, and if they are able to find markets where they can sustain themselves off that, that's awesome. I have not ever had a market, even my biggest ones, where if I had not had my earrings, it wouldn't have been, you know, a successful market for me. I would have been just barely covering booth fees. Okay, now I just turned that raw edge in. I'm going to top stitch. I top stitch at 1/8. I have no idea what my dog is getting into. She just like ran into the other room guiltily from the kitchen. Usually that means she's been in the trash. Now she's looking at me like, I would never. We've got to get a new lid for our trash can. We don't have one. And she's tall enough that she can just like reach over and just boop, pull stuff out. That is a finished bookmark. These are actually really fun to make. What else here? So much mess. Good lord. Eek. Alright, well, there you can see that is what a finished one looks like with the correct length of elastic on it. It's got little kitty cats on it. It's cute. Yeah, the black thread actually worked really well for that pattern. So you can just take this, you can put your pen in it, put it around your notebook. Ta-da! These are really popular online. I see a lot of content creators that make these and have done really well selling them. So, that's one done. All right, my feet are cold because I'm wearing a sweatshirt, but I am not wearing shoes and socks. Because, you know, smart cookie and all that. Let's see. I'm going to grab some of these book sleeves back here that are also black thread. So I don't have very many of the biggest book sleeves. So I want to make some of those. These are ones that I've got cut out. And the big ones will hold, they're designed to hold like big hardback books. I tested it with my copy of Onyx Storm, and yes, it does fit. So this is the lining I'm doing now. These are also super easy to make, it's convenient because it uses a lot of the, you know, materials that I already have for other projects. It uses fusible fleece and snaps. Well, the version that I make uses snaps. You can also make these quilted. I see a lot of those, a lot of them quilted. If you have quilting materials, I don't quilt, so. Again, I don't measure my turn gap, I just make it. Like, yeah, that's good enough. I feel like this is why I would never succeed as a quilter, because I just... very much a, close enough type of sewer. Ah, I've got thread tangled on my... It wouldn't let go. This is why I usually throw my scraps away as I cut them. Now my dog's whining. Earlier she was laying, so I sew in my dining room, and it has French doors that I can see directly in front of me, and then the door to the kitchen is to my left. And earlier she was laying on the floor in front of the door in the kitchen, and just had her nose just like in the crack under the door, and was just... because Mama is in here and she's not, and it's the end of the world. This is the like snap flap, for lack of a better word. It'll go on the open end so that your book doesn't fall out. don't know if you guys can hear that it's raining. It has been raining since yesterday, pretty much. And it's supposed to keep raining. And my 15-year-old cat has been missing since last Monday. Almost 2 full weeks. And so I'm worried about her. We've had 2 severe storms roll through. We've had 2 highly probable sightings of her. It's very unusual for her to disappear like this. She is not an outdoor cat. She is an indoor cat. However, she has gotten out and gone on adventures before. And she's always come back within an hour or so. So it's really unusual that she didn't come back. She got out at like 2 in the morning when my husband was taking the trash out. We didn't realize it. We actually didn't realize it for an entire day. But she never came back to the door. Like, she usually will come to one of the doors and like scratch at it. And she did not. Because we have cameras on all of our doors. So. But once the rain kind of dies down, we're gonna go back out searching for her. I've got some new suggestions on things that we should be doing. And apparently 12 days is usually like when cats will start coming out of hiding that have been in hiding. Because we think since she got out on a Monday morning and that was trash day, that like she probably got spooked by all the trash trucks because they start at like 7 in the morning. She probably got spooked by all the trash trucks, and then they're tearing a building down at the end of our street and have been literally for 2 weeks. So, like, she's probably deep in hiding somewhere. Like, we aren't confirmed that the 2 sightings are actually her. Because we have not seen them. They didn't have pictures. They were just like, yeah, it looked like her. And it looked like she had a collar on. Because she does have a collar. She is microchipped. You know, all the things you're supposed to do. So I'm hoping that it actually was not her, because it was in the neighborhood. Like, one of the spottings was over a half mile away, and one of them was a mile away. So I'm actually hoping that was not her, because it would involve crossing a major road. I am hoping that she's hiding really close by. There are tons of places she could be hiding. She could be under our porch. She could be under our neighbor's shed. Like, there's so many places that she could be hiding. So we're gonna do some like heavy duty searching for her this weekend. And I keep telling myself, yes, she's 15 years old. However, she's also a stubborn little ass. And cats are very resilient. I had a cat, it's been, God, probably close to 20 years ago now, that I had a cat get out, and he was missing for 3 weeks, and he came back fatter. He managed to gain weight while he was gone, because he had talked like 3 different families into feeding him. So, I'm certain Candy is out there living her best little kitty life. But we'll get her home soon. At which time I will be putting a GPS collar on her, because she is our escape artist. And like I said, she's gotten out many, 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 many times before. This is the first time she's ever not come back, which is why I think something scared her so, like, really badly. And she's not a scaredy cat. She has no fear. She's not afraid of people. She loves, like, she doesn't know what a stranger is. She is the one greeting you when you walk in the door. Even if she's never met you before, she's going to be climbing on your shoulder. So I really think something loud scared her, and she's in hiding. haven't been explaining what I've been doing this whole time. So after I made the snap tab, and you can see how it hooks on here now. I just found the middle of what I'm going to use as the back, and I usually just look at both pieces and go, yeah, I think that one will make the better front. Found the middle, and then just basted it on there, and now I'm just sewing the outside together. And trying not to knock my drink over, because it's like, this one's so big, it's like, it goes off the side of my sewing machine. Clip the corners. Always clip my corners, especially when I'm sewing with anything with fleece. That way you can get those nice sharp points. And then I'm going to flip this right side out. I don't pull it all the way through. I actually only pull it about halfway through. So that I can tuck it down in the lining easier. We've got our lining. Putting our outside inside of our inside. Right sides together. And this is like the only time I use clips on these bags, is right here, when I'm matching side seams. And I do that so that they stay matched. Just to give a nice, neat finish. Okay. Now that's ready to sew together. Oh, my foot's asleep. I was sitting on it. I never learn. Alright, time to turn and stop. Turn and top stitch. Now's when I fully finish poking out the corners on the inside, or on the outside bag. I'm going to just use my scissors. I have two different types of scissors. I have my fabric scissors, and then I have my thread scissors. These are my thread scissors that I'm using to poke the corners out. You just have to be really careful because they have a very sharp point, and I have definitely poked too hard and poked my scissors through the corner of the bag. More than once. Like, more often than I care to admit, do I do that. It's a very regular occurrence. Okay. And I actually top stitch these with a 1/4 inch width top stitch, which is unusual for me. I just like the way it looks with the wider top stitch. So you can see how that like wider top stitch looks on here. Yeah, I just like it. It looks neat. Now we're gonna sew up the hole in the lining. I had to use a clip for this too. I don't on the smaller bags, but the gap on this one is so big that I'm like, I should probably use a clip to hold that, just so it stays lined up. Cat hair. Fact of life, you know. I got concerned a few minutes ago because I thought I felt something brush my foot. And I was like, there are no cats in here, what the heck? It was the cord to my lamp. Oh, that's what that was. I'm just tucking this lining down in and poking out the inside corners now. I just do that with my finger because I don't have to be super sharp. So there it is. You can see. And now I'm going to put a snap on it. So to put the snap on it, I match up my center seams so that I can find the center of the front. And I find my little tool because we know I cannot keep track of anything ever. What the heck? I literally just had it. Sorry if there's like a bunch of crinkling coming through the microphone. I'm trying to find my little pokey thing. It's got a name, I just can't come up with it. Nope, that's a screwdriver. Yes, I did just look on the floor and go, oh look, a random screwdriver. Because it's my life. Kind of like, oh look, a spool of thread. Okay, what the heck? Where's my pokey thing? I usually find said pokey thing by poking myself with it, so that's always a good time. Literally just had it. It could not have gone far. Pokey thing. Pokey thing, where are you? Oh, hey, needles. I thought I didn't tap anymore. Okay, is it under my sewing machine? Nope. Bunch of other random stuff under there, but no pokey thing. Huh. Usually it's on the floor, because that's where everything ends up, is on the floor. But I'm not seeing it. Just that random screwdriver. Here's the random screwdriver, by the way. That's very irritating. I will probably find it when I'm not looking for it, because that's how it goes. So this is not getting its snap put on yet. And that's fine. I don't always put the snaps on when I finish them. I sometimes will like stack them up. Like stack up the bags. And then put all the snaps on at once. So that I'm not having to constantly search for my stupid tool. It's an awl. That's what it's called. An awl. And yet I'm still standing here looking for it. After I said I wasn't going to. There it is. Ha ha ha. It was behind my laptop. It's my pokey thing. Okay, back to what I was doing. Match up my center seams, or my side seams, so I can find my center. And I just kind of like guesstimate how far down. Just make my little hole there. And then do the same at the top. Again, I just kind of estimate. Doesn't have to be an exact science. Let's pick out a snap color. Let's see. I don't have like a brown, I don't think. Gray. I have like gray and I have ivory, but I don't have a brown. I do have like I've got a couple colors of green. Okay, let's see which of these greens looks better. That's pink. I got like this jade green. That actually looks pretty good. That does not look good. Yeah, I kind of like the jade green. Let's go with it. Gotta find all the different parts I need. This is why I like my black ones, because they're all in separate bags. Like the different styles of parts. But this is like an assortment bag that I got. And I always put the female end on the main part of the bag here. I just think it looks nicer. Because it's like flat. Let's see. See, the Cam Snap pliers are harder to lose. They're big. Doesn't mean I don't lose them constantly. They're just harder to lose. And there's the snaps. And it's done. So you can see that's how it like holds the book in. And that is one hardcover sized, completely finished book sleeve. So now we've got a book sleeve and a bookmark that we have finished. And I'm gonna take just a second. I'm gonna share this on Facebook because I just realized I haven't shared it like literally anywhere. And I feel like I should do that. I'm gonna copy the link. Then I'm gonna go Facebook. Facebook. I'm gonna post it in my group. Do. Okay, and now I'm gonna post it on my Okay, shared on Facebook. Okay. Probably should have done that, like, maybe not an entire hour into streaming, but it's fine. This is me not losing the pokey thing. That's where it's supposed to be, is right there. All my other sharp objects. I just realized I don't have... Okay, one, I unplugged my sewing machine. Hi, welcome to the hot mess. What the heck? And I don't have my little spool cap on there. There we go. Let's make another one of those. Because I've got one cut out and sitting right here. Let me move this spool of thread that does not belong here. We have all kinds of stuff that doesn't belong here. We wonder why I lose things constantly. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, it's funny. I mentioned earlier that my feet are cold because I'm wearing a sweater, obviously, but I'm in bare feet. I'm also wearing shorts. I'm wearing legging shorts, so they're like kind of like bike shorts. But my feet are cold. But I'm not going to do anything about that because, strangely, I can only sew in bare feet. Like, I can do it in socks. If it's like really, really cold, I'll sometimes like wear socks, but I cannot sew with shoes on. The pedal on my sewing machine is pressure sensitive. I've seen sewing machines that are like all or nothing. Like you set the speed, and no matter how hard you press on the presser foot, or on the pedal, it goes the same speed. Mine is not. Mine's like a car accelerator, so like the harder you push on it, the faster it goes. And I just can't do it unless I'm in bare feet. It's actually kind of funny. Okay, so that lining's done. Apparently that's like a really common thing too. I actually have a cross stitch pattern that says I drive fast and barefoot, and it's a sewing machine. Like, yep, that's me. I also have a pattern that says, it's all fun and games till the bobbin runs out. I ran out of bobbin earlier, and it's like, if you sew, you know that that's like literally the worst. When you don't realize that that your bobbin ran out. And, yeah, I ran out earlier. I was top stitching a bag, one of the book sleeves, and I had literally gotten like an inch of it top stitched and ran out of bobbin thread. And didn't discover it until I was at the end. And I was so irritated. Come on. So, I'm using my scissors to turn this again. Because this one is like double lined fleece in a very tight area. So I have to use my scissors to kind of help it along. Get that nice sharp crease in it. This is cute little Women Scientists fabric. Again, I'm going to figure out which side I want to be my front. I think I like this side better, so... And I always just clip a little notch when I'm trying to find like a center, or need to make a marking on something. I just clip a little notch in it, as long as it's within the seam allowance. It's easier to line up that way. I was talking about it when my sound wasn't working, that my hair is like that awkward, like half wet, half dry stage. So like the whole bottom of it is still soaking wet because I washed it after work. Like I took a shower when I was done with work, and I have a lot of hair, as you can see. So it takes a long time to dry. And while it's drying, I have really fine hair. And so, like, while it's drying, it just becomes like this frizzy mess. It's the only time my hair is ever super frizzy is when it's like in the middle of drying and it's like halfway in between. And it gets like itchy and won't cooperate. And yeah. Sewing machine was walking away. I'm about to knock my drink over. Again, flip it like not all the way so that I can tuck it in easier. There we go. I think it was less that my sewing machine was walking away and more that my chair was wandering away. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting tired. This whole, like, being at work at 8 thing. Like, I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl by nature, so I don't fall asleep very early. So I'm basically always tired. I mean, I'm always tired anyway, because health issues and fatigue. But what I've discovered is that I usually set myself up for failure because I stay up too late. and then I'm really tired, and then I take a nap on my lunch break, like, honestly, most days. And then a lot of times, especially if I don't take a nap on my lunch break, I fall asleep, like, immediately after work. And then can't fall asleep at a reasonable hour, and, you know, the cycle repeats. Although last night I had an excuse for being up late, because we had a really, really nasty storm roll through just after midnight, and we were under a tornado warning for a while, and really, really, really high winds. Like, there were areas around Dayton, there were some places in Dayton that they recorded Category 1 hurricane force winds. So, you know, that's exciting. That was knocking all kinds of stuff over outside, and I'm worrying about my cat that's still missing, and, you know. YouTube says there's 2 people in here. You guys are more than welcome to talk in the chat. I am keeping an eye on the comments on the live chat. There is a little bit of a delay, so if you say something and I don't respond, just give it a minute. Maybe one of these days I'll get more consistent about, like, what time I do these lives. It can be kind of difficult just because, like, I do have other people in my house, and they like to be able to use, you know, this area of the house too. And I'm not always sewing at consistent times, because it depends on when I have the energy. My bobbin's out. Saw it right as I turned that corner. For those who didn't hear my story about this the last time I went live, my husband was like, "You really hate winding bobbins, don't you?" Because I always have, like, this look on my face while it's winding. And I'm like, no, it's not the actual bobbin winding that I mind, it's that it always runs out at the worst time and you never notice it. Spool of thread is almost empty. Good thing I have more. I ordered black thread in bulk. I saw somebody asked about where to buy Coats and Clark thread with Joann's going out of business. And there was somebody who responded, like, so haughtily, "I wouldn't let that anywhere near my machine." And I'm like, good for you. The rest of us can't afford fancy thread, maybe? Or don't need to? Like, yeah, I build up a lot of fuzz in my machine, but I build up just as much fuzz from the fact that I sew with fusible fleece and cotton fabric as I do from the fact I use Coats and Clark thread. And when you go through as much black thread as I do, I literally buy it in, like, packs of 8. And we'll go through it in, like, a month or 2. This is the pack I bought right after Christmas. Okay, so maybe not 2. Well, no, because I didn't break into that immediately. I still had, like, 2 spools left from my old pack. So I've used, like, what is that? 3 spools of black thread since Christmas. And I've been doing a lot more sewing in the last couple months, like in the last month, than I normally do. And I don't really know why. I've just been really in the mood to sew rather than cross-stitching. Usually I'm cross-stitching. But I've just really been in the mood to be behind my sewing machine. And you know what? I'm just gonna run with that while the urge is there. Because it's not always. There are days where I'm like, I really do not feel like sewing. And a lot of that is because it does start to feel like a chore if I'm like, I have to do this because of a market or whatever the case may be. But whoa, don't fall. Almost knocked my drink over again. I moved it out of the way so that I wouldn't knock it over, and then almost knocked it over. Because I forgot it was there. Sitting here realizing my lips are chapped. I've been sick for like the last week. So, you know, when you're sick and you're like mouth breathing, it like tears up your lips. That's why I have sewing machine chapstick. It's like a running joke, like, you know, everyone has like their purse chapstick and their car chapstick, and I have sewing machine chapstick. There we go. Much better. Poking the inside corners out. Trying to poke my inside corners out. There we go. Now to put the snap. can see with my black ones, the parts are all in different bags. So I don't have to go fishing. Apparently I need to put a clip on this bag too. So it was spilling. And there's another finished book sleeve. Ta-da. I always forget this camera's kind of backwards. What are you barking at? She just woofed at the front door. So you can see, look at how cute this little fabric is. Little science ladies. It can go over there to go in my bag of finished ones. That is, I'm gonna chuck it. There we go. My bag that I've been putting these in is one that my old boss got me when he was at a trade show, and it says, "Does running late count as cardio?" And I was like, "Oh, thanks for thinking of me." For those that don't know, I am late to everything. Oh, hey, it's a Luna. Okay. What else do I got back here? Let's go with my medium-sized ones. So I've got lots of the small ones already made. We'll do this one next. This is a nice, like, kind of almost haunted mansion fabric, and it's sparkly. Although I gotta be careful because apparently I'm in the selvage here, so I just gotta make sure that when I'm sewing it together, that gets hidden in the seam. My hair is sliding out of its ponytail. It's driving me crazy. I do like to sew on the edge. Live dangerously. I've got one of my bookmarks that I cut out that is like really on the selvage, and I'm like, ooh, I may not be able to recover that one. We're gonna see. can tell this one was made with my older fusible fleece, because when it's in the center of the bolt, it kind of gets pressed down, so this isn't as thick. Because I just switched to a new bolt, like last week, because I ran out. Because when you sew as many bags as I do, you buy interfacing by the bolt. Keep an eye on my spool of thread. It's getting kind of low. Let me see if I can tip my camera up so you can see it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's like super low. Now I done jacked my camera all up. Boingity 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 bong. There we go. Thread chicken. It's like, I don't know, I prefer spool thread chicken than bobbin thread chicken, because at least you can see when the spool runs out. It's like one of the funniest TikToks I've seen recently. There's a guy that was sewing, and he was like sewing this like really long seam on a quilt, and it was like, what he doesn't know is that his thread ran out, or his bobbin thread ran out at the start of the seam. Oh my god, I felt that so much. Cocky of me to run to the end. It's resourceful. Don't want to waste thread. Trying to decide which direction I want to put up. I like this direction. When is the market? It's Saturday and Sunday. Well, there's one this Saturday and Sunday, which is Dayton Mall, and then next Saturday is Full Moon Market. So I'm kind of prepping for both. You know, got to get a couple spooky things in there for Full Moon Market. And then we're starting to come up into, actual market season with outdoor markets. I think my first outdoor market of the year is mid-May. It's going to be Buckeye Lake Pirate Fest. So I've been thinking about things that I can do for, that are pirate themed, other than just, my normal stuff with pirate theme fabric. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see how I did with that selvage edge. Perfect. Yes. Got it completely in the seam allowance. I need corgi butts for full. Corgi butt fabric? Or just corgi butts in general? I have corgi butt earrings. And what does that have to do with full moon? Oh, just, I get it. But I do have corgi butt earrings, and they are very popular. I also have an entire, rack that is, witchy earrings. So, tarot cards and Ouija planchettes and moons and black cats and... Speaking of black cats, mine decided to come join our... So every Thursday my company does a company-wide Zoom call with, all the execs and the managers and everybody all the way down the front line like me. There's no real front line in this particular company, but I'm at the bottom of the totem pole because I'm new. But anyway, every time that we've had that, this is my third week now with this company, and all 3 weeks there has been a different cat taking up residence on me. So the first week it was Candy, the second week it was Oscar, and today it was Loki. And it was funny because he's so big that it was just this giant puddle of black that when you couldn't tell it was a cat until he lifted his head up. It just looked like I was holding a pillow. I was wearing a light colored shirt, so it's not like he blended in. It was just this giant, it literally looked like I was holding a black pillow. I think the heat finally kicked on because I'm getting warm. Yes, Loki would 100% let me sleep on him. I do it all the time. He's the only cat I have that will let me use him as a pillow, because he just doesn't care. Loki's the most chill cat in the history of ever. And he'll just look at you like, ugh, why are you on me? Fine. I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off when I'm done with this bag, I think. Oh, I gotta show you guys the one I made earlier, the bag I made. I tested a new bag pattern. Undetermined if I'm gonna make more of them. It was kind of a pain in the butt. However, it's always a pain in the butt to make a bag the first time, so... even these were kind of a pain in the butt the first time, and these are super easy, as you can see. It's just a matter of, figuring it out. So I remember my first Mav pack I made took me like, I want to say 4 hours to make. And I messed up one of the seams pretty bad on it. Because I did them in the wrong order. And now I can do a Mav pack start to finish in under 2 hours. I don't remember which Mav was for Zan. I need to finish your Mav that's sitting here, like, ready. Oh, yeah, the one that matches ours. Yeah, your cat's Mav is literally sitting right here. Like I said, it just needs to be put together. Yeah, your cat's Mav. Okay, I've got to lose the sweatshirt. The picture of the ones I did for Disneyland is on my, it's on my Instagram. It's the one that is the picture of them in front of the castle. Let me see if I can figure out a way to show it on my phone. There we go. Here's the Mavs that I made for Disneyland, if you can see them, kinda. Or 90s Mavs. In front of the Disneyland castle. We didn't get any pictures of Anna and Elsa. The Anna and Elsa bags. But there's the all four that I made. And then it rained. And rained and rained and rained some more. And then just for good measure, it rained even more. Okay, sorry, this is making me giggle. This notification just popped up. You know, it says update your Square apps before to the latest version before updating your device to iOS 18.4. You would think they would figure out. I don't have an app. I don't have an iPhone. This is an Android, and I've always had an Android. But it's like if you're gonna push a notification out through your app, you would think that you could target it to just the iPhone apps. Not to all of us with Androids. Yeah, you're on an iPhone. And it would make sense if you got the push notification. But because I'm on an Android, why am I getting the push notification? Like, it just makes sense that, like, you would think they could filter that so that it only goes out to apps on iPhones. Although that does tell me that I probably need to update the iPad before I use my Square Register again. Or I need to update the app on my Square Register. Because it does use an iPad. Done. Cute. I like how it's just like a hint of sparkly. Okay, I was going to show you guys the bag I made, the test. So, I made this double zipper bag today. I've had it cut out for like an eternity. This is like massively washing out. Let me try it over here. There we go. You can actually see it over here. I've had it cut out for like an eternity. And I finally got around to actually making it. Like I said, it was a pain in the butt, but I also think that was, one, because it was the first time I'd made it, and two, I accidentally skipped a step in the directions, so I was having to do it a little weird. I will say that the one thing that I will probably do is change the size of the boxed end to make it a little smaller. The box, the like corner that I cut out of the box, because it was just really difficult to sew, because I had it when you cut it out, it was so close to the zipper that it made it really, really hard to sew. But yep, cute little double zipper little bag, be good for like makeup as a little travel bag. I also think I would use a stiffer interfacing on the inside, because it's got fusible fleece on the outside, but it's, again, my old Bolta fleece that was thinner. I use a thicker fleece now. And look at how wonky that zipper is. Holy cow. It's awful. Again, test bag. I also think I used Shape Flex as my base interfacing on all the pieces, on the lining and then underneath the fusible fleece, and I think I would use the the slightly thicker. It's the tridimensional. It's what I use on the Mavs. I think is what I would use for this to make them make it a little stiffer, because it's trying to like collapse in the middle, and like when you go to like unzip it, it's just really soft. It doesn't have a strong enough structure, and like you see it, like the sides cave in. They're not standing out like they should be standing out like that. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna make more of these to sell. I'll probably make at least like one or two more, just to see if I can get it to come out like really good, and then decide from there. That'll also give me a better idea of like how long it actually takes when I'm not sitting here trying to decipher the directions, because I've made one now. Another spooky pattern. These tarot cards. pretty sure that just went in my drink. Okay, maybe not. That would have been pretty epically hilarious, though. Oh, hey, look. Remember how I said that you can tell when the spool runs out? Apparently I can't. No? It doesn't need oiled, it's just a loud machine. Or are you talking about my chair? Hi, Heather. I'm live streaming.
Go away.
Huh?
So go away?
Yeah. At least he's figured out when I say I'm live streaming. That means don't come in here and have a conversation with me. Dalton has never figured this out. Or like when I'm listening to a book or watching a video and he just like wanders in the room and starts talking to me and I was like, dude, I'm talking. Or I'm listening to something. What? And so I always pause it, and like Nick has figured out that if I pause it and I give him like that look, yeah, the sound changed because I ran out of thread. But yeah, Nick has figured out if he interrupts me while I'm listening to something or watching something, usually listening, because I'm listening to a book, and I give him that look, he's like, okay, never mind, I'll come back later. Yeah, no, Dalton will just keep talking. And I'm like, let me pause. I haven't heard anything for the last 20 seconds. I do believe this is going to be my last bag for the night because I'm getting really tired. And I've been streaming for 2 hours now, so, you know, it's about how long I usually go. I think this is the last of my spooky ones that I have cut out, too, so. I need to cut out another Mickey Mouse one because I sold, like, 2 Mickey Mouse ones. And I don't think I have any more in this, like, middle size, which is the most common size. Because that's what I sold. I think these will sell really well this summer. They just make such a nice, convenient thing. And especially, like, I almost feel like books are making a comeback again. Like, with, all these really popular series. But it's not just, like, the big book nerds like me and Luna. Like, people are actually, like, reading again. Like, my husband's been reading a lot. He found an author that he really likes, and he's been reading all of it. I'm just getting over a cold. You cannot give me another one. You probably have the one I had. Yeah, I've hit that point of getting better that yesterday I was coughing so much. Today, thankfully, I have not been. But, like, yesterday I was at that phase of getting better where, like, everything was starting to drain. And just could not stop coughing. And we have a daily meeting, like, team meeting, every day. And I was, like, a couple minutes late to it, and my team leader had messaged me, and I didn't realize it at the time, but he'd messaged me and asked me if I was, you know, if I was busy with something, because I wasn't there yet, and it was, like, 2 minutes into the meeting. And usually I'm, like, one of the first ones in there. And, I was like, no, sorry, was just having a horrendous coughing fit, and couldn't see to click on the button to join. I was coughing so hard. And then I had to spend the entire meeting muted because I was coughing. I was already sick when we went out looking for candy, which I think is how I ended up getting, like, sicker. Because I had started to feel a little bit better, and then I spent, 3 days out in the cold looking for candy. And it went downhill from there. I want to say, like, last Friday was when it was, like, the worst. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Guess I'm getting tired. So this stupid storm kept me all up all night last night. What's funny is I always change the background on my teams. No, Candy's still not home yet. I'm gonna I'm gonna wait till it stops raining, and then we're gonna do like a really, really thorough search. Because I'm just not fully convinced that the sightings that we got over in Five Oaks were for certain her. But even if they were, there's gonna... I've learned some new tricks over the last few days for trying to lure her home. So we're gonna try that when it's not pouring down rain. But anyway, what I was gonna say is I always change. I like to change the background on my teams every day because, you know, why not? It's fun. I always have different, you know, like every job I've ever had, I always have something like different and fun every day, whether that's different earrings or different, you know, a hair bow or socks or something. And so now that I'm working, you know, remotely, my thing that I change every day to have a little fun is my team's background. And my team leader Dave today made the comment about, he's like, I'm gonna start guessing what your weather is based on your background. Because it always like when it's really cold, I change it to like a beach scene. And yes, I know Candy is lost and can't find her way back, and that's why I wanna... Something interesting that I was reading about is the cats have a homing sense, like a really, really strong one, and can usually find their way home even if they've never been outside before, unless they get, you know, just far enough away that they're like, oh, I don't really know where I am. And a lot of people have success by leaving a scent trail. And they recommended, like, you know, if you can leave something along the way that smells like you, or even just touch things along the way. Like a lot of people have put out like trail cameras in areas that their cat has been seen, to try to catch them, and they'll see them on the trail camera, and then like a day later or a couple days later they'll show up at home. And it's like they follow the scent trail from where you have touched that camera and then walked back to your house, and they'll follow your scent trail. And so we're going to try doing that. We're going to try, and like, you have to be careful, like, not walking in a circle so that they can actually follow it in a straight line, things like that. So I think we're going to try laying a scent trail. And it was like, you know, if you have something that smells like really strongly of you, and they recommended like socks, that you can either leave or like touch to things that they can smell their way home. So we're gonna try that. And because we've never walked back from Five Oaks, we've always driven, and so we're gonna try walking there and back, and see if she can, you know, follow our scent home. And then just in case, like, that's not her that was seen over there. Which there's a really good chance it's not, because nobody has gotten close enough to touch her to verify, you know, that it's her. I saw on Nextdoor today that there is somebody else who's missing a tabby, with a pink collar on. You know, and there's no guarantees that it's her that's over there. There's also an extremely good chance that she's hiding under something here. You know, she could be under the house. She could be under our porch. She could be under the neighbor's shed. Wear all the odd socks and leave them as broken. That's actually not a bad idea. All my mismatched socks. One of the recommendations was to walk barefoot, and I'm like, not in West Dayton. There's so much broken glass on the ground. The other suggestion that I saw is doing what they call a sit walk, which is you walk for a while either with somebody or like talking on the phone or something like that, in your normal voice, and just walk, and then every few houses sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and the sound of your voice, your normal speaking voice, that's home to them. And so it can sometimes lure them out. There's lots of people who have... The one that I saw that was a cute reunion story, was that their cat had been missing for like 2 months. And they got a fire pit for the summer. So the cat had gone missing in spring, and at the start of summer they got a fire pit. And the first night that they had it out, and they were all sitting outside around it, the cat just sidled up and joined them like, hey, what's up? Because he heard him talking. But I also need to go put out new signs, and I think I'm going to laminate them this time. And I found I had some bright colored cardstock too. So I'm going to use some of that. Okay. A little tarot card one. It's super cute. Oh, I was talking about like the bookmark that I have that I cut, that it's like, ooh, that's a lot of salvage. I cut that one definitely more into the salvage than I thought I did. But that's okay. I'll make it work. I usually do. Alright, well, it is 11:30. And I have now been streaming for 2 hours. I've gotten 4 book sleeves made. And a bookmark. So, awesome. I don't know when I'll be on here to stream again next. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know. Depends on if Nick goes out and Ubers or if I'm loading the car or not. But I will post on Facebook for anybody watching later. I will post on Facebook like I did today for the next time that I'll be live streaming. If you don't already follow me on TikTok, please go follow me there. I'm trying to get enough followers so that I can start live streaming from TikTok. And I will see you guys next time I'm on.